What's up, guys? I'm Smoke here too. Today, I'm going to be giving you my thoughts on the new Thor: Love and Thunder movie. So I saw it last night with Josh, Landon, and a bunch of my other friends, and so here are my thoughts. Uh, I personally thought it was a good movie. Was it the best Marvel movie? No, not at all. Was it better than the ones that have been coming out? Absolutely. I don't think every Marvel movie besides like No Way Home has not done very well at all. Shang-Chi didn't do so well. Eternals did not do well at all. Uh, Doctor Strange 2, I was not a big fan of that movie. It's okay, but it was not very good. I have to break it to you guys. I'm sorry. I don't like that movie. Thor: Love and Thunder was just what I needed. I thought it was going to be a really bad movie because of Marvel's reputation that is with nowadays, but they actually redeemed themselves, which I'm actually kind of shocked about that because usually they kind of ruin the movies that they make. So at least it is something. But yeah, spoilers ahead for what is about to come. So basically, the whole movie starts with Gore the God Butcher, or well, actually, he just starts off with as Gore. Um, so, um, so yeah, it starts with Gore and his daughter wandering in the desert trying to find food. She's starving, she dies, and then he goes to a god for help, and he's like one of the god's last disciples or something like that. The god says, "Oh, by the way, there's nothing after you die, so, and I don't really care if you're my follower. I'll have someone else follow me after you're dead." And so then the necromancer sword, which is pretty much a god killer sword, he picks it up and well, kills the god and says, "So this is my vow: all gods will die." And the sword kind of corrupts Gore. So he's not really evil. He's only evil because of the sword's influence. And so his goal is to get Stormbreaker. That is the key to unlocking Eternity, which is a being that's basically like a pocket dimension. And so he's like the ultimate god. And if he goes to him, he can bring his daughter back, but he has to try to get. And he can also kill all the gods in doing so. So then he starts killing all the gods that he can. So Thor gets wind of it and decides to try to get help from Zeus. So he recruits Mighty Thor, who Jane Foster, she has stage 4 cancer, so she's dying. The hammer decides that she's worthy, so it rebuilds itself and gives her the power of Thor, but it drains her mortal strength. So every time she picks it up, she just it takes away her strength to fight the cancer. And so, but she doesn't really know that until the very end. Um, and so she got recruited with Thor, Valkyrie, Korg. So they go to Olympus basically to go try to, ask Zeus and a bunch of other gods, hey, can you come help us out to go fight him? Zeus is like, no, because only X people worship me, so I will only help those X people, and so pretty much we're not gonna even help you at all, and so then, uh, yeah, Zeus, warning, if you didn't know by the rating already, he does get half nuded, so, you do kind of see that, which is actually kind of funny, but, yeah, and then, so then, Zeus's weapon is like a lightning thing, so it's like the hammer just with lightning, and like a lightning sword thing, and so then Zeus is trying to kill Thor with it, but Thor catches it after Zeus almost kills Korg. What he doesn't kill Korg because he shreds, like he falls apart into rocks, and then his like face is the only thing that remains that still is alive, and so he's kind of just ahead now. And yeah, there are a couple inappropriate references. I will say that. Inappropriate references, I should say. But yeah, and so he takes the weapon out of revenge and kills Zeus, or that's what he thinks. Which I'll get back to that in a minute. So then he goes and he's like, yeah, we're good. Gorg then comes to Asgard and kidnaps a bunch of Asgardian children because he wants them as bait, and so he kind of just takes them around wherever he goes, asks them questions about what they think of gods and if they believe in gods, and try to make him believe what he believes, that gods are not going to help anyone no matter what you do. And so, which he does have kind of a fair point, but so Thor is trying to rescue these kids along with trying to save all the gods and the entire cosmos as a whole. But does just yeah um he does that, and then Gore is in the Shadow Realm, and so Valkyrie, Mighty Thor, and Thor go into the Shadow Realm to go try to fight him. Ends up being a trap. Gore knows that they were gonna come, takes the children, puts them somewhere else, and then yeah, and then Jane, right before this, reveals that she does have stage 4 cancer. We don't know what kind of cancer, but stage 4 nonetheless. And Thor is like trying to tell her you cannot use this weapon anymore. And Gore takes Stormbreaker from Thor, and so now Thor is back to a weaponless god. And so then he tells Jane to not fight anymore, to get chemotherapy, to try to get help so she can fight the cancer so she doesn't die. Jane wants nothing to do with that. She wants to go fight, even though she knows it will kill her in the end. But she's like, well, it's second life, and I want to take it as I can. And so Thor kind of just goes out with Zeus's weapon, tries to kill Gore. Gore's winning, and then Jane Foster shows up. And the Stormbreaker was used to open this portal that leads to eternity, and so then he attempts to do it, which he succeeds. But Thor and Mighty Thor are there fighting. Valkyrie got stabbed, so she lost a kidney, and so Mighty Thor is kind of dying from the cancer because she can't hold herself anymore because she's lost every ounce of strength she had left. And then they destroyed the Necromancer Sword, which was the power of Gore. That's what gave Gore his power. And so Gore was back to being a just a plain being of little to no power. And so then he is yeah, and then he meets Eternity. He gets one wish from Eternity, and Eternity grants him his wish of bringing his daughter back to life. And so then his daughter's back, but he's dying from the sword's corruption. And Gore turns back into a good guy, like he was in the beginning of the movie. And then he then that wasn't me either. So yeah. Um. That's pretty much the entire premise of the movie, and then Thor is now in charge of protecting Gore's daughter, and Valdemar, which basically is the land of the gods, which Jane dies in the end. She goes there, she meets Heimdall in a end credit scene, and Zeus survives and is telling Hercules that they need to get all beings in the universe to fear them again, and so Hercules and Zeus are like, I bet, let's go do it. I don't have no problem with that. So that's pretty much confirming another Thor movie or something. And then it said Thor will return, just like it said Doctor Strange 2, Doctor Strange will return. So we don't know when they're gonna return, how they're gonna return, but that's pretty much the entire premise of the movie. A scale at 1 to 10, I would 1 being worst, 10 being amazing. I'd give it about an 8. No Way Home is a 10 level, Infinity War was a 9, and Thor: Love and Thunder was an 8. The only problem was it was really short. I wish it would have been a little more action packed and stuff like that, but unfortunately it just wasn't. Which, I mean, for a Marvel movie, that's not okay at all. You're supposed to have a lot of action, but yeah, that's just my thoughts on it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. See you guys later. Bye.